Ministerial statements. Member statements.
The honourable member for Innisfail, Sylvan Lake, followed by Edmonton Highlands, Norway.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Another example of why Albertans can't trust this government, and another broken promise that affects vulnerable Albertans. Yet the Premier and her ministers ignore those promises, and they claim they're keeping their commitments. Just yesterday, the Premier gave us a list, and she included insulin pumps as a promise kept. Nope, promise broken. Here's what one Albertan told me. The election promise was for people with type 1 diabetes who would benefit from an insulin pump, they would have their costs covered. My vote was swayed accordingly as my daughter has type 1 diabetes. The only reason I voted Conservative was because of this promise. Another Albertan told me of the ordeal type 1 diabetics face each and every day. She said a pump would alleviate those with type 1 diabetes from having to poke their fingers repeatedly every day up to 15 times or more. Then to top it off, they can be ejecting themselves as many times as 10 times a day. I have received over 30 emails from Albertans just like these two, and they're consistently saying they need these pumps, they were promised these pumps, and they're not here. Mr. Speaker, the original promise was for $18 million this year and $65 million over 5 years. This would have covered 1,600 Albertans this year and 6,200 Albertans in all. But after the election, everything's changed. Funding dropped to only $5 million this year, leaving only 300 Albertans eligible for this coverage. That's a far, far cry from 1,600. If you do the calculations, it's about $17,000 per patient. But the pumps are only $7,000 per patient. One must wonder where the rest of the money goes. Now, I don't know if this callous decision is due to this government's stunning fiscal mismanagement, the imaginary bitumen bubble, or whether the government just had to make some room to pay for those March 31st Alberta Health Services bonuses. But at the end of the day, the Premier made this promise, and you continue to take credit. Please do something.